In every man's life, there comes a choice between two paths. One, a path full of darkness and treachery. The other, a path that is bright and playful. But what the man doesn't realize is that he must either suffer through the pain and treachery while on the path to success, or suffer through the pain and darkness at the end of the path to failure. So, there's a lot of quotes from like elementary school and stuff, blah, 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 that, we hear a lot of the time, but we don't really pay attention to them. We just think there are these other kind of corny quotes that people use to be like, yeah, never settle for less than your best. Yay. Sorry about my knee. Anyways, stuff like that. Just these corny quotes that, they tell us to try and boost our self esteem and motivate us to keep going. But one of my favorite ones of these like corny quotes that I heard was one that said, always be hard on yourself, but never be mean to yourself. And, I didn't understand it for a long time. I was like, isn't that saying the same thing? Like, don't you have to kind of be mean to yourself to be hard of yourself? And, I was kind of confused about the quote for a while, but in figuring it out, I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's a really important way to live that not a lot of people take to heart. So it really hurts them a lot of the times because they start getting angry about themselves without realizing, stuff like what this means. So what this quote means is that, yes, of course you should be hard on yourself. You should have high expectations for yourself. But if you mess up, if you don't achieve what you set out for, like let's say you ate junk food or, maybe you watched porn or something, that's okay. You didn't set out what you achieved for. Fine, whatever. But when people start going into, their brain starts going, oh my God, we suck. What are we doing? Why couldn't we figure it out? It starts like calling themselves names. When you start doing that, you don't make the situation better in the slightest. You make the situation way worse because now instead of just doing that, getting over it and going to the next day where you'll hopefully do better, you're now hung up on, oh, I can't believe I did this. Why did I do that? Why did I do this? And then, you get stuck on it for a day, and then maybe that day causes more stress, blah, 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 blah. It's a bad cycle because, all you're doing when you start getting mad at yourself is you're just encouraging more stress into your mind. And we don't want more stress into our minds, We want to have as little stress as possible because stress is what clouds our judgment. So we don't want that. Yeah. So one of the things you should do, be hard on yourself, set high expectations. Don't go around with like these kind of mid expectations that you can achieve. Set expectations that are going to be hard for you to attain. Like maybe you're struggling with your diet right now, so you go no junk food for a week. Maybe that'll be hard for you. Maybe that's easy, so you do 2 weeks. Maybe that's easy, so you try a month. But whatever it is, set expectations that you're not sure you'll be able to achieve. Then, from there, if you don't end up doing it, if you eat junk food after 5 days, let's say, okay. But by getting mad about it, you're not going to help the situation because you're just going to add more stress onto the situation than you already have by getting mad at yourself, which a lot of the times will cause you to do worse things like eat more junk food or think, oh, the day is already ruined. I may as well fap too, and I may as well not work out, and I may as well blah, blah, blah. Instead of saying, okay, I ate junk food, but that doesn't mean I can still get back to doing what I was doing, you know? You don't have to ruin everything because one thing went wrong. And I talked about this in another video I'll put up as a card right around here, when I talked about how to like momentum, and when you end up stopping your momentum with junk food, it doesn't mean that the whole day has to be bad. Now you can start building up momentum for the next day. Again, I'll put the card right around here, and go watch that video after this one because I think it was a really good video. Anyways, so how do we stop this whole, our brain being mean to itself kind of thing? Well, one of the ways I've done it is I have this little thing right here called a journal. And in this journal, I have a bunch of pages where I write about what I'm grateful for, and I write about, how I'm feeling and blah, blah, blah. And in that journal, a lot of the times, when I'm feeling bad, I end up writing about, I'm feeling mad because I did this today. And I wish I didn't do it, but it's already happened. And now hopefully I know not to be in that same situation in the future. So there are really two big steps and a third one that you need to follow if you want to stop bullying yourself, pretty much. So after you do something wrong, the first step is to write down how you're feeling about it and what you did wrong. Let's say I feel super sad right now because I just ate junk food after going 8 days without it, and now I feel super bloated and fat. That's what you did wrong. The second step is to write down a plan. Write down why you think you did it and write down a plan to fix it. So let's say, I was home alone and there was all this temptation and I hadn't eaten in a while. So I ended up eating the junk food. So maybe next time when I'm home alone and there's temptation, I'll fill myself up with good stuff first, like fruits, vegetables, nuts, meats, whatever you have, instead of those. That's great. That's fine. But the third step, the most important one by far, is to actually put that into action. Because you can say, oh yeah, I'm not going to eat junk food like that again. But in reality, you're probably going to end up in the same situation and end up with the same craving. You're going to be like, oh, I really want the junk food. And you're going to have to put what you said you were going to do into action. Otherwise, all this is for naught. But what this does is, instead of giving your brain a reason to say, oh my God, we suck, you suck, why are we doing this, blah, 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 blah. Your brain is like, okay, this happened, but now we know why it happened and we have a plan to fix it. You give your brain a sense of order again, and that you took away when you did something that you knew you didn't really want to do. So by giving your brain that sense of order again, you're able to calm its nerves because your brain hates chaos, and move on with your life. You don't need to worry about what happened anymore. Sure, it might still bug you for a little bit, but it will be significantly better than if you just did nothing about it, because your brain will start getting really mad. But in saying all this, if you don't put that into action, if you don't put what you said you were going to do into action, your brain's going to realize you're BSing yourself and it's going to start bullying you again. So you have to be disciplined enough to put that into action. All right? All right. I hope this video helped. Do the hardest. See you guys next time. Bye bye. Love you.